Okay, let's continue our slide. The next slide, we'd like to talk about a concept called service model or service field. As I mentioned before, internet has several different components. Okay, it includes the communication links, the physical links, the devices, the network interface card, the operating systems, the protocols, the applications. There are several different components. Okay, so in order to organize all those different layers of components, okay, we have a concept called service view. Okay, you can see that although we have several different applications like web streaming, multimedia, and so on and so forth, okay, basically, when we write network applications, okay, for people who write programs, basically, they don't have to consider what kind of network technology, what kind of network technologies are used on the line. 就是说，写程式的人如果在写程式的时候还要考虑到他下层现在用的是 WiFi 还是卫星，那也未免太麻烦，对不对？ So in this case, there is a programming interface for writing network-based programs. Programs only need to use such kind of program interface, or we call API. API 这是听懂吗？就是application programming interface， 就像你们呼叫一些 library， 其实你不需要知道 library 里面怎么实作的，就像是你不需要知道对方是在 WiFi 底下还是在4G 5G 底下，你的 application 一样照样可以运作，这样子会比较方便。也就是说我不需要知道 underlying technology 是在做什么，我们只要知道哦，我现在送东西给他了，我呼叫某个 library， 呼叫某个 API， 这样就可以了，可以吗？We only need to know what kind of API we like to use to transfer or receive messages. That is good enough. We don't have to know what kind of underlying application links those devices use. So that will be more convenient for the programmers to program. Okay, so that is called service view. Okay, the next concept is called protocol. Okay, we only need to take a look at the right hand side, again, the box. Protocols define format. As we mentioned before, when people send messages, they have a bunch of zeros and ones. 就是我们收 messages 就一堆的零跟一嘛，对。However, we have to know what kind of protocols it used, so we know what is the format of the message. Okay, for example, the first 8 bits is a number, and what is the meaning of these 8 bits? Okay, the following 16 bit is for example, is a text. It's a text. It's a string, and what is the meaning of different string in this second field, and so on, so forth, so on, so forth. So we need to know the format and the order of the message sent and received. Okay, that is related to the next one. It's called action take. If I receive a message A, and what is the message I need to do? Because I receive an A message. For example, I have to store a file, or I have to send some other messages back to the sender, or I have to turn off my computers. There are several different actions can be taken if you receive different types of messages. Okay, so protocols have to define such a different things such as format, order of the message sent and received, and actions takes. So what exactly the protocol is? Okay, it's just an example, so we skip it. Okay, I would like to use another example in real life. Okay? Think about one thing. In maybe 2,000 years ago, at that time, people still need to exchange message. For example, if you are a king or an empire in mainland China, okay, and there are several different messages need to be passed from Forbidden City to some other territory, right? 就是说，如果你是个古代的君王啊，你在紫禁城里面总是有些讯息要跟塞外沟通嘛，对不对？ Of course, you can send a horse, okay, to relay those messages from the palace to the foreign territory. OK， 就是你可以叫马去送，对不对 ？But it takes time. OK, so you can set different fort， 就是你可以设很多不同的碉堡 ，along with, for example, some mountains. So you can make a fire if there's some emergency. 就是中文比较简单，中文就叫烽火台嘛，对不对？我不知道英文烽火台怎么说啊，就烽火台嘛，对不对 ？So if there's an emergency, okay, people can light those fires. So people in the middle of those route, if they see, okay, there's a fire next to me, okay, and I light the fire. So that this message can be sent gradually along with the mountain to the palace. 对不对？就是烽火台的概念。So what is the application of this message delivery system？ 就是这个也算是一个 message 的传递的一个系统。But it is very simple. It is very simplified, right? Only two messages can be sent or received. The one is there's an emergency. The second is there's no emergency because there's no light along with this route. 对，就是只有两个 message 嘛，就是有战事发生跟没有战事发生。So basically, a protocol are two devices. Okay, in these cases, those forts 就是那些碉堡 those nodes, they know what exactly light means, fire means. That means emergency. If there's no light, there's no fire, there's no emergency need to be passed. Emergency message need to be passed to the palace. 对，就是很简单，这个非常简单的 protocol. Okay, take another example. If you are a soldier, if you are a soldier or sailor on a boat, 就是水手 boat. If you want to communicate with the other sailor on the other boat, what will you do? Basically, you can set several different sets of flags with different colors. 就是古代嘛，如果你是船上的水手跟另外一个船上的水手要沟通的时候，你要怎么办？太远讲话到不了啊，所以就用很多的 flags， 就是中文是旗语嘛，就是你有很多旗子嘛。There are several different colors. Usually they are white and red, and you can set these flags in different directions or a different combination of these flags. So then you can let some other soldiers on some other boats knows, okay, there are some messages you have to deliver from your boat to the other boat. 就是这些旗语它有一个组合的方式，或是上下左右的取的方式，会让你知道说现在这个船在表达什么事情，然后其他的船就看了你的旗语之后，他就知道你这条船现在想要递送什么讯息。Those are still message passing system, right? So basically, these two soldiers, they should have a book indicate they're drawing different combination of those flags and colors and write down what is exactly the meaning of such kind of combination. 他们必须有个小册子，上面要讲说什么样的组合是什么意思，对吧？就是有一个那船员，就是如果你们当海军就会知道，就是你们会有那个小册，知道那个旗语里面的每一个旗子、每一个组合是什么意思。So basically, the protocol itself is that book. People agree such kind of representation of flag indicate different meanings, right? So we follow, I mean the soldiers or the sailors, they follow the books to arrange those flags so that some others can understand what you are talking right now. 对吧？就是我们必须要在那个簿子上做事嘛，对不对？所以比如说我遇难了，我怎么样，那别的船看到之后就知道你怎么了，那他就可以做出反应的动作。So protocol itself has in digital world, okay, have more format, orders, and action text. It's simply just that books on the ship. OK， 所以它是一个差不多的概念，你必须要有人先去制定那本书，他才会照着那个书上做事，他就会有一个共同的一个 consensus 的一个共同的概念。Okay, so I think we have talked about these things in the last hour. Okay, we have network edge. Network edge are hosts or servers, which is near to you. Okay, your laptop, your mobile phone, your server, your PC, the devices which around you, they are all under the category of network edge。啊，就是你手上可以触及的这些东西，我们就会把它放在 network edge 的这个 category 之下。Okay. So the next one is called access network. So the access network means these green lines. 也就是我们刚刚讲的 last mile. Okay, you have those last mile to access. Access network means you have the capability to access the internet. So you have to connect those green lines between you, your network, and the entire internet. Okay, so that's called access network. Of course, there are several different physical media. We'll talk about it. So at the right hand side, okay, as we draw boundary right here, at the right hand side, they are called network core. So they are interconnected routers. There are several devices. Okay, as we mentioned before, such as the SRI organization in the ARPANET. Some devices, that are routers, they have to relay or forward messages to help other devices to send the messages to the following place. Those are routers. 就中文叫路由器，这个可能记一下，这个叫路由器。它就跟刚刚那个 SRI 的这个作用一样，它必须要帮人家把东西传到远方去。啊，它要有一个帮忙的动作。Okay. So so that is it. Okay. There's another terminology called edge router. That means it's right here. Here. That means there's always a devices called edge router, which is a router at the edge of your network. This edge router will help you to push your messages to the internet. It's just a terminology. Okay? It's just a terminology. And of course, this depends on the last mile you use. Okay, so usually those edge routers are connected to the last mile link. Right here. So basically, it depends on what kind of technology you use. For example, you have Wi-Fi, 4G, 5G, or some resident access network to help you to connect this last mile, and this last mile will connect it to your edge router. Okay, so here is the very important technology we talk about this week. It's called DSL. It is one of the way you can connect your home network to the entire internet. Okay, DSL 中文没有，因为 although it is digital subscriber line, but in Mandarin we don't have a word to translate it. 就是中文没有，我们一般说我们家里就是 ADSL， 对，大家应该都听过这个字吧，就是 DSL， 所以它没有中文字，所以即使你去 HiNet 去买 ADSL， 它就叫做 ADSL。Okay, okay. So that is one of the two major way we can connect our home network to the entire internet. One is called DSL, the other is called cable network. 就是在台湾也是一样，只有两大方法，你可以把你的家里连上网际网络，一个就是 ADSL 的业务，中华电信会提供，另外就是你家第四台的网络业务。Okay, okay. So we'll talk about it today. Okay, this hour. Okay. So here is the last mile, right? Here's the last mile. The left-hand side is your home network. The right-hand side is the ISP network. So it helps you to connect your home network to the entire internet. Okay, so that's it. And basically it is phone line. Because you want to connect your home network to some other network, there must be certain kind of line, certain kind of infrastructure exists in your home, right? So you think about one thing: what kind of line has been built natively in your house? 你家有什么东西是天生自然就存在的线呢？phone line 就是电话线，还有呢 electricity line 就是那些 core 就是那个电线，是你房子盖好之后就会有的。还有呢瓦斯管线嘛，可是你不可能用瓦斯管线传讯息嘛，对不对？所以我们就跳过。还有呢水呀、你不可能用水传东西嘛，对不对？还有呢in modern buildings usually cable has already built in your wall。就是以现代的角度而言，第四台的管线是在房子盖好之后就有。可是 ，but in early days, for example, 30 years ago in Taiwan, the new buildings does not have cable lines built in their wall. So you can see that there are a lot of cable lines, 就是第四台线 are on the street, right? Because they was not built in the wall at the first place when the building has been built. So that would be a mass problem, okay? So since we have to connect it to the outer world, so there must be a line. So the first technology we choose is phone line, because phone line has been built in our house maybe in very early days. I think 大家知道电话什么时候有的吗？ Do you know when telephone has been invented? 这位同学，电话什么时候有？赶快想，赶快回想，最早你什么时候感觉电话是有的？随便讲个时期嘛，总不可能是17时代吧？16世纪，所以你们应该看过清装剧或是明初剧，他们在打电话吧，就是有一个盒子嘛，然后要摇嘛，然后再打电话，然后要找总机小姐转接嘛。So phone line has been invented in early 19th century, 19世纪啊，对啊 ，20th century， 对不起，1900年是20世纪的时候。So about 120 years ago. So at that time, in Taiwan Island, okay, since the I think recent 70 years, we have already built the phone line in our household. So that is one of the major way we can connect it to some other place. But however, phone line has its own purpose, original purpose. What is that? To call some others, right? So basically, we can see that. Okay, I draw a line right here. Do you know how phone works? 有没有人知道电话是怎么运作的？你们国中或高中物理课有没有学过电话是怎么运作的？啊，绿色的衣服的，哎，对，就是你。电话怎么运作？然后呢，那电话它不是有根线连着电话吗？电话线。好了，我跟你讲哦，但我用英文讲哦，你们认真听哦。Usually you have a phone, right? And you speak. The vibration of the air makes sounds. And the sound will go into a small pieces of paper. 就是电话里面有一片很薄的薄膜啦。但是早期当然是用不同材质，有些用纸做的，有些是用薄膜做的。OK，the vibration of the air will still make this small piece of paper, or very thin piece of paper, vibrate, and then it connects to a device. 就是后面那个 device 是如果以学理来说叫做压电效应，就是爱因斯坦发明的哈。So that vibration will make the voltage of the electricity changes. Voltage 就是电压哈，或者 changes. And that device will connect to a single core, which is a copper line. 就是它是后面接一个铜线。So the voltage in the core, in the copper line, will changes. And such kind of vibration, such kind of changes of voltage will pass through the line to the other side of the phone. So the entire process will invert again. Those vibration of the volt will cause the device, which is to vibrate, which is the small piece of paper. And the vibrate will vibrate the air, so make sounds. The sound will go into your ear. Right? 就是它整个是个压电效应的过程。讲话的声音扰动空气，空气扰动那个薄膜，那个薄膜后面有压电效应，产生电压的变化。电压变化沿着线走到另外一端之后，对面的压电效应再反过来，电压的改变会导致薄膜的震动，薄膜震动再震动那边的声音，那边的声音再变成声音，声音再传到你的耳朵。好，这是物理课啊。Okay, that is the original purpose of using phone. However, because the voltage in the copper line changes, so that is analog. Analog 中文就是叫类比哈。So that is an analog signal. So analog signal basically like this, okay? 就是波了 ，like a wave. Okay. So if you go to HiNet and you tell you want to subscribe ADSL service, the mechanical 就是技工哦 they will come to your house and bring two different devices. One is called splitter. The other is called DSL, the modem. Okay, let's take a look at what is a splitter. Okay, phone splitter. It looks like this one. Let's take it. Look like this. Okay. So one other the connector 就是上面那个接头啊 will be connected to your wall, which is the phone line in your wall. 就是那一头是插在墙壁上啊。So it is splitted, so the signal received from the phone line will separate into two different slots. One slot is to your original phone, 就是右半侧到你原本的电话上。So the voice, the voltage changes will still pass through this splitter to the right-hand side slot and to your phone. So your phone still works. However, for the left-hand side, it will connect it to another device, which is called DSL modem. So right here. 就是那个分接器啊，会有一个插分接的头嘛，那另外一边通往你原本的电话，那另外一边到 DSL 的 modem。Okay, let's think about how phone lines are built as the infrastructure. Okay, basically a phone company 就是中网电信嘛，台湾就是中网电信，因为 phone 理论上来说，台湾的 phone company 应该有很多个，可是问题是中网电信因为太大了，然后别人也没有想跟它竞争，所以我们就只有一个中网电信。但在美国就不是，美国的电信公司有非常多个，他们都可以布设电话线。Okay, so basically in Taiwan we have only one major phone line company. Okay, 就是市话，我们 phone line 就是市话。那 company, okay. When your apartment has been built, okay, there is a built-in phone line in the wall, right? However, the phone line in the wall have to go to a box. The box is near your main door. 那个家里面的电话线会集中到你们家大门的旁边，会有一个叫做弱电箱的东西。So that box looks like this one. I know you maybe you have seen it in your apartment. Okay, there's a small box. Okay, inside it looks like this. Every phone line in your apartment or your cable line will pass through this small box near your main gate, okay? And then will pass through to the elevator, 就是他们to the basement, OK， 就是它会经过你们家的那个电梯井，然后再往下到地下室 to the basement, OK? So in the basement, it's more like this one. There is a huge box. It will collect all the phone line in the entire building, including yours, your neighbors, and most of the time, in your apartment there will be more than one phone line. In Taiwan, most of the building has 2 or even 4 phone line in your apartment, although you have only 1 phone number. 就是说，在台湾里面，在盖 building 的时候，我们通常是预设不止1条电话线路，通常有2条，旧公寓通常会2条，啊，新式可能就会有4条。那虽然你只有1个电话号码，可是那个4条的电话线路是已经预留好的 ，in case 你要有第2个电话号码。好 ，so all the 4 phone line will be collected through the elevator and to the basement. Think about one thing: if your building has more than maybe 50 apartments, every apartment has 4 phone lines, so in total there were 200 phone lines. Will go through the elevator to the basement, and here this box has 200 slots and even more slots to collect all the phone lines from every household. 就是每一家人都会把那个线集中在地下室的地方， and then those phone lines will pass through a tunnel, which is when the building has been built, those tunnels has already layered. So they will go through these tunnels to the street, to the curb, 就是街边呐 ，OK？ The near 电信箱，你等我一下，电信箱。I believe you know what exactly this one, right? Near your apartment, there on the curb, okay, there will be a even bigger cases boxes, okay. So all the 200 phone line will go into these boxes, and also the neighbors, all the neighboring apartment buildings, their phone line will go through this box 啊，就是中华电信的电信箱啊，它下面会写，它下面会写那个那蓝色那个里面就中华电信在那边写字。那是电信箱 ，OK。The nearest box around our campus is on the street， 在电位厨房的对面，就是那边比较靠商院，在电位厨房的对面的马路边，就靠学校这边有一个这个电信箱，所以那个电信箱要负责那一个小区域附近所有的电话线要集中在那个地方，可以吗 ？OK。And then after that, they will build several for example, underline the tunnels and collect all those copper lines back to the central office, HiNet central office. And HiNet central office 在过了那个木栅路之后，在木栅农会的旁边，你知道，在过桥那一边啊，就是所有的线都会集中到那边去啊。So the entire course of those lines, they are simply just this green line, which is just the last mile. And you know, HiNet has to spend a lot of money to maintain, to build those copper lines, so that message can be transmitted to your household, to your home. Okay, but conceptually, it's just a very simple green line in this figure. 就是对我们这边只画一小段，但实际上中华电信花了非常多的钱在维护这个东西，所以你的电话费里面才有那个电信维护费，因为那些线是需要 maintain、需要更新的。好，然后如果你家里的墙壁有问题，他会去帮你换哦。这个是你的权益哦，因为那个是接到你家。Okay. So, however, after that, so the right hand side is central office, HiNet central office. Okay, so basically, that is this green line. Okay. So, however, as we know, the message you would like to send in the digital world. They are all digital, which is all ones or all zeros, something like that. However, the signal carried on the phone line are analog. 就是在因为电话原本的设计就是为了讲话嘛，讲话就是有波嘛，对不对？就我们刚刚讲电压的波嘛，对不对？那电压的波就是承载波啊，所以它原本是用来传波的讯号的。However, the message we would like to send by our computers or laptop or cell phone, they are all digitalized. 就是我们现在传的资讯都是0101的资讯。So there is a difference. There are two different types of the signal. So there should be another device which is called the DSL modem. Modem stands for modulator demodulator， 中文叫调制解调器。中文不用记，但是你知道，你看到这个字，你要知道它就是 modem。那台湾因为受到一些日本文化教育的影响，老一辈的技工们会把这个字念成 modem， 所以你们要听得懂这个字，就是你在跟别人沟通的时候。就是师傅来你家装的时候，他会跟你说这是 modem， 但实际上就是 modem 的意思，没问题啊。那中文就是数据机嘛哈。This special device has to convert the analog signal carried on the copper line to digitalized signal, which is one and zeros， 就是它必须要在上面把波的讯号换成01的讯号 ，or vice versa, convert the digital signal to wave signal or the analog signal, because the cover line, the phone line, can only transmit analog signal. So at the left hand side we have a DSL modem, and the right hand side it is a DSL AM, which stands for access multiplexer. It is also a modem which can convert analog data to digital data or vice versa. 可以吗？因为实际上电话线就只能传波嘛，所以即使我们送出了 digital 的讯号，那 modem 要帮我们把它换成波讯号，传过去之后，对方再把它转回来成 digital 的讯号，因为电话线就是这样，电话线就是很老旧的科技。OK。But what kind of information or what kind of signal has been carried on the phone line? There are three different types, there are three different things in the signal. Okay, the first one is this one. The first one is that an ordinary two-way phone line channel. As we know, the wave can be added together. 就是以物理上的术语来说，就是波的讯号是可以叠加的，对吧？这高中、国中可能都学过。Okay? So there are three different channels right here. Different channels has different frequency band. Okay? Channel 的中文应该就叫做频道 ，band 的中文叫做频带。因为波有对不起，波有频率嘛，频率就有波长嘛，这个高中应该学过，就是波长跟频率嘛。And we can differentiate signal by their frequency。那我们可以因为它的频率的大小，频率应该叫高低了，频率的高或频率的低，把不同的讯号分开来，这个是天生在数学物理上就可以做到的事情。So there are three different channels. The first channel is the phone channel. As we mentioned before, when we talk on the phone, on the not cell phone, on a fixed phone, okay, the voice, the vibration of the voice, the frequency should be between 0 and 4K hertz. 赫兹就是每秒几次的意思。Because our ear can only hear the voice below 4K hertz. 可以吗？我们的耳朵只能听到4K 赫兹以下的声音，所以高频的声音我们是听不到的。所以虽然这个铜线具有传播高频信号的能力，可是里面的东西我们是听不到的。So that we need a splitter right here to split the signal, which is lower than 4K, and voice will stay in that frequency band. Okay, but the signal higher than 4K, we split into two different channels. One channel is high-speed downstream channel. Its frequency is between 50 kHz to 1 MHz. And the other is a medium speed upstream channel between 4 kHz to 50 kHz. So we can make a simple calculation. So that is 45 kHz, right? And 1 M is 1000 K, so that is 950 kHz. So we can see that there are two different bands. One is smaller, only 50, the range is only 45 kHz. The other is much bigger, 20 times than the other one, which is 950 kHz. 就它一个小的频段的赫兹，一个是大的频段，然后它大概是950赫兹。Okay, so the size of the band, which is indicate the capability of carrying signal. So here is the number provided by the textbook. In that band, we can transmit 24 to 55 Mbit per second data, and for the other one is 3.5 to 60 megabit per second data. So one is high speed, the other is medium speed. The reason why we need two different sizes of band is that by nature, at home, we have more resource requests to pull information from internet to our home. 在天生上，我们就是下载东西比较多嘛，我们要把东西pull回来到我们家里，下载东西量会比较大。So we need a bigger size. So the downstream means from the right hand side to the left hand side. Downstream 就是从右到左。So the upstream is from left hand side to the right hand side. Means we have to upload our data. For example, to send an email, to upload a file, something like that. But in that case, we believe usually, in our home, we simply just has fewer requests to push data from our home to the internet. 我们把资料推到 internet 的需求比较少，我们把资料从 internet 拉回来到家里的资料比较多的需求比较多。So by design, we have two different channels. One is larger, the other is smaller. That is by nature, which is related to our the use case of the network. 这样可以理解吧？这个很自然。Okay, so in that case, so if I have several digital messages, and DSL modem will help us to convert those digital messages to analog signal. Okay, to analog signal, and those analog signal, if someone is using the phone simultaneously, those two signals, voice signals and data signal, will combine together and pass through the copper line to the central office. And central office has a access multiplexer. It will also filter out the voice data, which is the analog data, and pass it to the telephone network. And the rest of the data, which is higher than 4K band, 4K hertz, will be further transferred back to digital signal, and so on and so forth. And those digital messages will pass through to the other system, which is the ISPs, and see where the message should go. Okay, 这样听得懂吗？哈。So let's take a look at the HiNet website. That is the major ISP in Taiwan, right? So let's take a look at the ADSL service provided by HiNet. Okay, we can see that this one. Okay, so 就 HiNet 没有ADSL 没有中文嘛 ，ADSL 的中文就叫 ADSL. The reason why we use this word A means it is a symmetric DSL. A symmetric means the download upstream transmission rate and the downstream transmission rate are symmetric， 就是上载跟下传的速率是不对称的。因为我们刚刚讲过，下载的需求比较大，所以下载都会比较大，上传都比较小。Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Okay, and you can see that ADSL service. Okay, the download rate is 2 megabits and up rate is 64 kbit per second, and it costs 228 New Taiwan dollar per month. And you think, you take a look at this table, you think, well, okay, I do subscribe ADSL service from Hainan, but my download rate and the upload rate seems like very different from this speed. Right， 就是我们一般你家里用 ADSL 的时候，我们不是都是什么100 M、200 M 起跳嘛，对不对？为什么这个网页上是长这样子？Because the reason why in this table, the rate is so low, that is because that is a very old ADSL services. It is the native ADSL service, and the ADSL service right now you use in your home is not ADSL， 就是我们现在真正你在网络上去中华电信买 ADSL 的时候，其实你们买到的都不是 ADSL， 真正的 ADSL 是这个样子的，那就是课本上教的那个样子。The ADSL, but the name ADSL is so popular, so they use the wrong word. The actual technology you use in your home and you consider it is ADSL, actually it is not. It is VDSL， 就这个字。哎，这个，有了。Actually, when you go to HiNet and you ask, okay, I want to subscribe your ADSL service. Actually, they give you VDSL. The difference between ADSL and VDSL is that the modem is a little bit different. So let's see what you can get from VDSL service. Okay, let's take a look at this figure. So now VDSL then.是，稍等一下，这个可能一定要找到它了。这个。The VDSL modem is a little bit different from ADSL modem. Usually, ADSL modem, as we see in this figure, right? One phone line comes into your whole household, and you have a splitter. Okay, so you have one phone line right here will be connected to your DSL modem. But actually, it depends on the quality of your cover line and how far away from your apartment to the central office, or the distance between your household and the box on the street 啊，就是说，其实你的 传输能力是看你家的铜线品质好不好，到路口有多远，然后 central office 离你们家有多远。Okay, those different things will affect how fast your network is, because as we know, the longer distance will cause some problems, so that your transmission network will degrade. Okay, so sometimes one single phone line cannot provide, for example, more than 60 Mbps transmission rate. 就是有时候品质的关系，还有你的住家远近的关系，你一根电话线呢，用 ADSL 在跟 Central Office 传资料的时候，可能超过不了60 Mbps. So if you want to subscribe 200 megabit per second or 300 megabit per second, or even just simply 100 megabit per second ADSL service, it is not possible because your line quality or your distance too far away. So basically, the idea of VDSL is they use 2 phone lines. Okay, and you have 2 phone lines, so you have twice capacity. 对吧？你有2根线的时候，你就可以在2根线上分别传东西，对不对？你一根线撑不到100 mega， 那你2根线，你一个人50，一个人50嘛，合起来是100，对不对？ So in this case, for VDSL modem, they will have 2 slots. You can plug in your 2 different phone lines. So for VDSL, at least you need 2 phone lines. But the mechanical will help you to arrange the things. We'll find 2 different phone line in your wall and try to set up those VDSL modem in your home so that you can have more than 100 megabit per second or 200 megabit per second per 100 megabit per second service rate. 就是你可以拿到比较好的这个服务品质的。如果你有2根铜线的话，这样这才是我们现在正在用的东西。OK， at the end, before we continue, the last thing I would like to talk about is, I believe you know what is 难说的光世代，光世代怎么写啊？光世代，对，是这个。There's a fiber service provided by HiNet， 就是 HiNet 有光世代这个服务嘛。But you have to think about one thing. When you apply fiber services, 光世代 from HiNet, but actually the fiber does not come into your household. But you can get, for example, more than 500 megabit per second, 1 gigabit per second services. But how those things are done? Actually, they will place 这个中文就不知道，光化箱。They will replace the box on the curb with another technology. Okay, they are fiber box. So basically, those purple lines are fiber, so that they don't have to maintain hundreds or thousands of phone lines and connect it back to central office. They only need to use one single fiber line, which is the purple one right here. Okay. However, in your household, you still connect your phone line to that fiber box, 就光化箱。But unfortunately, 在这一区啊，没有光化箱，或是我们没有看到，就是路上我们没看到，我知道我们没看到。So that at least hundreds or gigabytes of service can reach to that fiber box. 就是因为后面非常快，Purple Line 就非常快，所以那边可以达到几 giga 到几百 mega 都可以。So it depends on how good, what is the quality of your green line right here, or VDSL or you can provide you can subscribe VDSL services, so that you can enjoy even higher transmission rate。这个是比较特别的服务，叫做光世代。那光世代并不是整段都是光纤，因为光纤牵不到你们家的，因为你家里太旧了，家里只有铜线，所以那另外折中的办法就是他把那个光化箱设在你们家附近，起码紫色这一段可以比较快。那紫色那段快了之后呢，那进到你们家里面，那就看你们家的品质有多好，或是你 VDSL 有没有办法 subscribe 两条线，把这个速度撑上去，这样就可以 subscribe 光时代。光时代并不是到牵光纤到你们家。Okay, so I think that is what I would like to share with you today. So if possible, okay, please take a look at the website. Okay, we'll have several announcements. We will teach you how to review the videos on the YouTube channel and homework, of course. But this week we don't have homework. Okay, so make sure you check the website once or even twice every week. We'll announce many things on the website. Okay, so I think that is okay. 那我们就今天就这样子。就我们说嘛，它是合在一起传出去。这个针对声音去做的，因为就是特别设计出来的，因为人的耳朵就是最高